Israel has denied responsibility for the attack on a UN refuge in Gaza, an incident that has led to an unusual reprimand from Washington. Greetings and salutations to everyone. In today's video, we will be addressing the issue concerning the accusation made by the United Nations against Israel for targeting a UN compound in Gaza, resulting in significant casualties. However, Israel has refuted these claims and suggested that Hamas might be responsible for the shelling. The attack specifically targeted a vocational training compound in Khan Yunis, the primary city in southern Gaza, where 30,000 displaced individuals sought refuge. This incident received rare and unequivocal condemnation from the United States. Tragically, the attack claimed the lives of at least 9 people and left 75 others injured. It is important to note that the UN compound was clearly identified as a UN facility, and its precise coordinates were shared with Israeli authorities. Without any further delay, let us proceed with our discussion. On January 24th, the United Nations reported that a significant UN compound in Gaza, which provided shelter for displaced Palestinians, was targeted by Israeli tanks, resulting in mass casualties. However, Israel refuted the allegations, denying any responsibility, and instead insinuated that Hamas might have been behind the attack. The United States issued a rare and unequivocal condemnation following an attack on a vocational training compound in Khan Yunis, southern Gaza's primary city, which the UN stated housed 30,000 displaced individuals. According to James McGoldrick, the UN humanitarian coordinator for the Palestinian territory, there have been significant casualties with reports of deaths and buildings on fire. Many individuals are attempting to escape the area but are unable to do so. Thomas White, the director of Gaza Affairs for UNRWA, stated that 2 tank rounds struck a building within the center where approximately 800 displaced individuals sought refuge. As a result, at least 9 people lost their lives and 75 sustained injuries. Philippe Lazzarini, the head of the agency, expressed that the actual death toll is likely higher. Lazzarini emphasized that the UN facility was clearly marked and its coordinates were shared with Israeli authorities, as is standard protocol for all their facilities. He condemned this act as a blatant disregard for the fundamental rules of warfare. The US State Department spokesperson, Vedant Patel, expressed strong disapproval of the recent attack on the UN's Khan Yunis training center, stating, "We condemn this act. According to Patel, it is crucial to ensure the protection of civilians, respect the sanctity of UN facilities, and safeguard humanitarian workers in order to enable them to deliver vital life-saving assistance to those in need." In its initial statement, the Israeli military acknowledged that the Khan Yunis area, which they described as a base for Hamas fighters, was also the site of ongoing fighting in close proximity to a significant civilian population. After receiving criticism from Washington, the military issued a second statement asserting that their investigation of operational systems concluded that their forces did not target the center. However, they are still conducting a comprehensive review to determine if the strike was caused by Hamas's actions. Throughout the course of Israel's ground offensive, which commenced in late October, the United States has consistently expressed its concerns and requested information regarding various incidents, although it has seldom openly criticized any specific actions taken by Israel. As darkness descended, UN personnel faced significant obstacles in reaching the affected region, with all communication channels abruptly severed. In a display of force, Israeli troops initiated their most substantial ground operation in over a month, surrounding a city that has become a refuge for hundreds of thousands of individuals displaced by conflict in other parts of Gaza. According to residents, unlike in previous Israeli assaults, they were only notified to evacuate after the operation had already begun, and the main exit route was already closed off. Currently, the majority of Gaza's population, which totals 2.3 million individuals, is confined to the areas surrounding Khan Yunis. Palestinian authorities have asserted that Israeli forces have blockaded and encircled the primary hospitals in the city, rendering it exceedingly difficult for rescue teams to access numerous injured individuals and casualties. Israel has stated that there are command and control centers, Hamas outposts, and Hamas security headquarters operated by Hamas within this region. According to the Israeli military, the central objective of the operation is to dismantle Hamas's military infrastructure in western Khan Yunis. In this densely populated area where civilians reside, precise and specific methods of operation are necessary. The region contains shelters, multiple hospitals, and other sensitive locations that require careful attention. Regrettably, terrorists have taken advantage of these sites. According to Palestinian health officials, the death toll in Gaza during the conflict stands at 25,700, with 210 fatalities occurring within the last 24 hours. Israel initiated its offensive in response to Hamas militants attacking Israeli towns on October 7th, resulting in the loss of 1,200 lives and the capture of over 240 hostages. In the town of Rafah, situated just south of Khan Yunis along the Egyptian border, an airstrike struck a mosque, leaving residents to gather the scattered pages of holy books amidst the devastated remains. A group of individuals joined forces to lift a solid block of concrete and clear away debris, unveiling the lower extremities of a deceased individual dressed in denim pants. Once the lifeless body was successfully extracted, it was carefully transported on a blanket positioned atop a stretcher, all the while accompanied by the rhythmic recitation of religious phrases. Following the tragic incident, numerous lifeless bodies were eventually placed inside body bags made of plastic material at a morgue. Within this somber setting, grieving family members could be heard wailing in anguish as they tightly held on to the deceased. Khaled Baker, a mother who had lost her son in the incident, shared with Reuters that they had sought refuge in Rafah under the belief that it would provide them with safety. Without even a tent to seek refuge in, we find ourselves in a dire situation. Our homes have been destroyed by bombs, and tragically, my son has become a young martyr. The question that weighs heavily on our hearts is, where can we go? The elderly and vulnerable among us are left feeling helpless, unsure of what actions they can take. The pressing concern remains, where do we turn for safety and shelter? According to the Palestinian Red Crescent Society, the staff of the Al-Amal hospital in Khan Yunis has been trapped by troops and subjected to a curfew, which also affects their local headquarters. Tragically, 3 displaced individuals lost their lives in the incident. Hamas fighters are alleged by Israel to be active in and around hospitals, a claim that is denied by both hospital staff and Hamas themselves. To support our channel's growth and ensure broader awareness, kindly hit the like and subscribe buttons. This will help us reach more individuals and disseminate valuable information. Thank you in advance.